A warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the virtual Citrix Ready Partner Pavilion at HIMSS 22. In this session, I have a very special guest, our very close partner called Nutanix, and we've done quite a few things with Nutanix over the past donkey's years. Uh, let's talk about our partnership and what does the two technologies mean for you. But first, let me bring on our guest of the day, Leah. Leah, welcome to the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Rubel. I'm so excited to be here today with you. I am Leah Gabbert. I've been at Nutanix for about 2.5 years, where I lead all of our marketing functions for our global industries group. So we're really focused on the federal government, the state and local education sector, financial services, as well as healthcare. For me specifically, I have a focus on healthcare. I've spent my entire career in healthcare IT, over 15 years. And before coming to Nutanix, I actually spent almost a decade at a leading EHR provider, Cerner. And so I'm very passionate about this space. And I'm really excited to be here talking to you today about Nutanix and Citrix in healthcare.
Awesome. The minute you mentioned the word healthcare, I can imagine my audience jumping up on their seats because that's what they want to hear today, right?
Yeah.
So let's start with what does Nutanix do? What's in it for our healthcare customers?
Yeah, absolutely. So Nutanix has been around for a little over a decade now. We became an immediate leader in the hyperconverged infrastructure space. But over the last couple of years, we've grown our solutions into a full cloud platform. And now we're a leader in the multi-cloud infrastructure space as well. So in healthcare specifically, what that means is that healthcare organizations around the world, whether you're talking about a large multi-state healthcare system or a smaller critical access hospital or a pharmaceutical research facility or really anything in between, these organizations can run Citrix virtual apps and desktop service directly on that Nutanix cloud platform. And what that means is the result is really around enhanced security, simplified operations, and at the end of the day, the ability to deliver a better clinician and end user experience.
Awesome. So VDI and HCI seem like a match made in heaven. Let's go a little bit deeper into that. How do you think Nutanix integrates with Citrix?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the answer is probably twofold. The first is really around the protection of that critical patient data, importance of adhering to regulatory and compliance requirements. The Nutanix cloud platform is hardened by design and leverages a zero trust model and microsegmentation that prevents the spread of malware and ransomware. And avoids data loss and theft through auditing and role-based access controls and encryption. And remember, our platform is Citrix ready, of course, which means it's undergone that rigorous and significant testing to provide seamless integration with Citrix. But secondly, probably most importantly, because you just mentioned it, is the importance of those EUC deployments and the ability to deliver a consistent experience to clinicians and end users. We know that poor user experience leads to less time providing actual patient care. And today, when you think about the future of healthcare, we don't really know what it will look like around telehealth and work from anywhere initiatives and things like that. So we find that healthcare organizations are really looking to solutions that allow flexibility and fast adaptation from IT. With Nutanix and Citrix together, you can launch a completely remote environment in a matter of hours versus days, adding thousands of virtual desktops almost immediately with faster logins and no downtime. I love sharing this story, but one of our customers, Delaware Valley Community Health, when the pandemic hit early on, like 2 years ago, the CIO at Delaware Valley reached out to Nutanix looking for some help, and we worked with him to deploy Citrix on Nutanix technologies to enable his healthcare workers to work remotely. In fact, Delaware Valley Health was able to get more than 75% of its staff working remotely in just a couple of days during a pandemic at the time when we didn't know how long the pandemic was going to stretch or what any of the long-term repercussions were going to be, which is a pretty notable accomplishment. And now today, 2 years later, Delaware Valley Community Health serves more patients more efficiently with improved speed and convenience to clinicians, patients, and all healthcare workers. So, so at the end of the day, moving fast early allowed them to be able to just change the way that they're providing care in their community.
That's awesome. So I'm hearing some few keywords here: security, simplified deployment of EUC, and flexibility and remote work that your users can take notice of. Am I able to sort of pick up some keywords there? Is that?
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely.
All right, then I want to hear a little bit more around this healthcare space, right? You mentioned how you're able to simplify EUC deployments, help your customers work remotely with the Citrix and Nutanix technology. Does your technology help? Let's try and understand, how does the Citrix and Nutanix technology help end users? And if you can give us some insights around how it can make life simpler for IT admins as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The answer is easy. It is really, like you mentioned, all about those simplified operations. Our healthcare customers are often spread across hospitals and clinics and ambulatory sites, really all over the place, with pretty complex infrastructure that stretches IT resources beyond their limits. But with Nutanix and Citrix together, we can guarantee constant access to all your applications and data, whether we're talking clinical applications and data, financial or business apps and data, regardless of the number of clinicians and end users. And so that means that our Nutanix solutions are known for ease of scalability, which means we grow with you and your organization's needs. And at the end of the day, for those IT admins, we integrate server and storage resources into a turnkey appliance that's deployed in minutes, ready to run Citrix virtual apps and desktops at scale. So at the end of the day, that means we're freeing up already lean IT resources to work on other and oftentimes more strategic projects. One interesting effect of this pandemic, specifically on healthcare IT, is the fact that we're seeing healthcare IT teams and leadership just taking a more strategic seat at the table with the leadership at their own organizations. IT teams are no longer looked at as the upgrade team or tracking number of tickets team or anything like that. It's really about having more strategic technology conversations about how organizations can leverage that technology to transform the way that healthcare runs their business. And at the end of the day, how they enable better patient care. And people ask me all the time at Nutanix, they're like, how can Nutanix or Nutanix and Citrix, how do you really affect the quality of patient care or patient outcomes? And to me, that answer is really simple, not only because I work in technology, but also because I'm a patient. And at the end of the day, when you have less frustrated clinicians and you've got technology that enables those clinicians to spend more time with patients, that automatically leads to more time with patients, better patient care, more satisfied patients, and more satisfied clinicians. And so that conversation around the clinician experience really changes the game when you invite technology into that conversation as well.
Awesome, that's great, Leah. Let's change gears a little bit now. I want to understand, how does Nutanix differentiate from competition?
Yeah, so I think the best answer is really around the fact that recently Citrix and Nutanix announced our new partnership that takes the combined value in healthcare to the next level. Nutanix is now the preferred solution of choice for Citrix solutions, and Citrix is the preferred EUC solution of choice for Nutanix. And as part of that agreement, our joint customers can expect a seamless solution. We've announced intentions for joint roadmap integrations, simplified procurement processes, and a single support model. Of course, more details are coming soon, as this is a pretty recent announcement, of course, but our joint intention with Nutanix and Citrix together is to offer just the most complete hybrid and multi-cloud experience that the market has to offer. And at the end of the day, I think that's what sets us apart.
Awesome, that's great, Leah. Now you've obviously piqued interest in our audience. If they want to learn more about Nutanix, where do you want to send them?
Yeah, I would love to continue this conversation and chat more with folks one-on-one. So I would encourage you to reach out to our website, Nutanix.com, scroll all the way to the bottom. There's a really fast, easy form to fill. If you just put your name and your contact information, we'll reach out to you directly, and just keep this conversation going. I would love to be able to do that. So yeah, please, Nutanix.com, and then scroll all the way to the bottom, just fill out that form, and we'll reach out to you directly.
Awesome. And obviously, guys, if you're at HIMSS Trade Show this year, we'll be at booth 5043. If you want to learn more about the Nutanix Citrix integration, you can also search for Nutanix on citrixready.citrix.com. So Leah, it's been great talking to you. Are there any final words before we wrap this up?
Rubel, it's been so much fun. I can't wait to see everyone at HIMSS as well. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. I will also be at the Citrix booths as well as the Nutanix booth. So looking forward to seeing you all there.
Thanks, Leah. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure hosting this session for you. Goodbye for now. I'll see you on the other side of the session. Bye-bye.